Okay, so right now I'm going to show you how to create a model with occupants using a CSV file. This will make it a lot easier to load the model um, as long as you've configured your model uh, so that it's easy to do this for. So I'm going to show you a very simple example using just one plane and one location first to show how to use the groups features of steps. Um, but this should be able to be used for uh, every single floor like you're going to have to do. Okay. So here we have our plane. Now we're going to make a location. No, that's a blockage. We're going to make a location, and I'm going to be representing a conference room. It's just going to be a 10 meter by 10 meter conference room on plane 1. I'm going to add location. I'm actually going to apply that and add location 2, and we're going to change this to, we're going to make this all the way in y of 30, 30, y of 20. All right, so as you can see, we now have two conference room locations that we're going to be using here. The next step that we have to do is make a plane exit, and we're just going to make that there for no specific reason, just from plane 1 to plane none. I like to use a door for this, but it doesn't make a huge difference for this example. All right, so now that we've done that, we have to look at the people that we're going to be looking at. For this, you want to make people types for all the people that you're going to be using. So if you're looking at a family of 4, I usually will call it family family 1. Let's do family member 1, add type 2, add type 3, 4, add type. And then we're going to be using a couple as well. And so we'll just do couple member 1 and couple member 2 and add those. All right. As you'll notice, I didn't change any of the parameters. In your model, you're going to want to think about how different family members might have different walking speeds or different different sizes. You might want to color code them to make them easier to visibly see them. And then there's just plenty of other parameters that you can choose to change if you so desire. Next, we're going to create the people groups that we want. So if we want to create a family, let's create a conference room family. And we want a family of 4, so we're just going to do this as a group of 4. And we're going to make a family member. We're going to make these equal for this family. And then we're going to do add group. All right, and now we're going to do conference room couple. And since it's a couple, it's only going to be 2 people. So you want to remove the family members. And add the couples. So for this, there should be, in this people group, there should be one people type couple member 1, one people type couple member 2, for this, there should be one of each family because there's 4 people. We have them as the same fraction, and there's 4 of those. All right, so we made our people groups. Now we're going to make a family group. So I'm going to do family 0, 1. As you can see, I'm making these making these numerically, and you'll see why, but this will make it easy to manipulate in Excel when we download the CSV file. Alright, so we've made our people types, we made our people groups, and we've made our example families. Now we have to make some people events, and we're going to be doing that by, we're just making 2 example events so we can use them in the in a download for a CSV file. So we're going to make a conference room family 0, 1, 0, 0, 1. Again, I'm making them numerically, so it's easy for Excel to repopulate the plane. I'm going to be doing this for conference room 1. There we go. Okay. Conference room family, and then we'll add this event. Alright, and then we're going to be doing conference room couple. And then we'll just change this from the people group conference room couple, and we'll do couple 0, 0, 1. And we'll keep the same information for that. Add that event. I think I forgot to add the family here, so we'll go back and just apply that. Okay, so now we have example for that and example for that. But now we have 2 locations that we want to look at, so we'll just make this one location 2 and add an event there. And we'll go to the family and make this the conference room 2 and add an event there. And this is only so it makes it easier to see on the Excel document what we're doing. So let's also change the number here, apply that, and then for couple, we want to change the number here, and apply that. Okay. So now we have kind of the 4 test cases that we want, and now we can export the CSV file to the model 3. Okay. So since I don't have Excel on this computer, I'm going to be using Google Docs. You can see I already made one in my previous example. That didn't work. So I'll be looking, and then we can just use this in Google Docs. Okay, so there it is. Open that up, open it up in the Google Sheets. And here we are. Okay, so since we're going to be adding approximately 50 people to each conference room, that's going to be I'm going to do approximately 6 families and 13 couples. So what's that? 18 times 2, so we'll just add 40 rows just to be safe. Okay. Now let's see what we got here. So I just like to cut these down to kind of a place where they won't be affected by building this first scenario. So this is going to be conference room 0, 1, family 0, 1. So like I said, we're going to make 6 of these. Oops, one too many, and we'll just delete that. So we want to make sure here that we have the names are distinct. We want the people group to be the same. We want the number of people to be the same. We want the family name to be distinct so we can look at that later. these can be your decision on what you want, but we do want the location to remain the same as well. So let's change that here. Okay, so now we can look at the couple for conference room 1. There we go. All right, so since we're going to make 13 of these to make 50, since 4 times 6 is 24, and 13 times 2 is 26, and we'll just 8 plus 13 be 21. So just add another couple of rows in here. Okay. So is it 13? One too many once again. Okay. So we delete that row. So now we can see that for conference room 1, we can have a total of 50 people. Oops. That's what's wrong. Okay, yeah, there we go. Alright, so once again, we want these to be distinct so that we can track them if we want to. We want the conference room location to be all the same across these. And we want these to be distinct. Alright, so now we can just go ahead and make the CSV file for the next location that we selected. And we'll move this down. Alright, so here's for conference room 2 that we selected. Alright, we're at 21, so it should be 33. Alright, good. So again, we're going to want to keep the conference room location the same, and then copy that down. Alright, and then everything else can stay distinct, and we're just going to create the last couple occupant groups for the family. And here, again, we want the 6 groups to make the even 50. So let's see. Oh, we just need to change the conference room location back to what it's supposed to be. Okay. So let's see if we have 100 people in the model here. And we do. All right. So now that we've created this spreadsheet that contains all of the occupants we want to look at, we can just download it to a CSV file. If you're using Word, you can just save it as a CSV file. And there it is. So then we go back into steps, into our model, and I'm going to delete all these because we just created all of these same things. So we're just going to import them. Oops. That's right. That was the one we exported. We need to find the one that we just downloaded, which we'll figure out where that is. It's in my downloads folder. Okay, so we can open that up, and as you can see, we've created all of these people events. Again, as you can see, if you create them so that they're numerically chronological, then it might be easier to keep track. I think using the CSV file just helps you keep track even better. So I would recommend using that for these bigger type models. Okay, all right, so since we have all those, let's go ahead and test out whether this worked or not. But first we're going to save this model. We'll just call it model 3. And we created the plane exits. We have our 2 locations, so let's go for it. All right. So now we can see we have a bunch of people in the model. They seem to be going towards the location. You can see there's occupants that started to group here. I'm not sure why some of them went all the way over to conference room 1, target type, location. But you can see they grouped up into the into groups and headed for the exits. So that's how you might try to